Welcome back to the channel, everybody, and welcome back to a new rebuild. My last rebuild with the Broncos, that ended shortly as the whole system crashed and it deleted all the episodes it had. So that won't be happening again, so don't even worry about that. But we're going to start a new one, and it's going to be a new team because I feel like the Broncos, it was just like too easy. The first year we went 9-7, made the playoffs. And it wasn't even like a rebuild. It was just, I just had to add a few pieces and we consistently were pretty good. But with this one, we're going to choose the New York Giants, who have a few building pieces to work around. Saquon. And of course, they lost OBJ with that whole situation. So they're in an interesting transitional phase here, with Daniel Jones and Saquon as possibly being the future. But today we're going to start a new coach, and we are going to be a coach so we can do more things than we did in the last rebuild. With the Broncos, we were just an owner and we couldn't even actually affect how situations were happening or team strategies and stuff like that. With this, we should be able to actually affect who gets the development traits and all those scenarios, since we do have a scenario engine in this game. It's gonna be a team builder, and this is a coach that we all know. We're taking him back into the NFL, and it is gonna be Jim Harbaugh. You know, he was with the 49ers for a while before he decided to go back to Michigan, but now he's ready to take a step back into the NFL and join the New York Giants on our journey to become a dynasty, hopefully. And if any coach were to do it, it would be him. Choose a face that kinda can look like him. I don't know what would look like him. All these faces are pretty trash. That one looks kinda... We'll go with that one. That one looks nice. We'll just start with these playbooks, see how that goes, and we'll get right into the preseason, checking out our team for the first time, checking out the overalls. I actually don't know what Daniel Jones' overall even is. It's 65 in this, so it's low. Eli's 72, so like, is it worth even playing Eli instead of just developing Daniel Jones and getting his development up? Because the development trait right now is normal, which is not too good, but he's only 22. He has time to develop for sure. And then Saquon, of course, he is a superstar X Factor. It's his second year in the league, and he is already a 91 overall. His stats are already insane. Backup's actually pretty good. Wade Gallman Jr. is pretty good. And as for wide receiver, they signed Golden Tate this offseason. And Sterling Shepard and Cody Latimer are coming back from last year. They both were playing alongside OBJ. So not much change besides losing OBJ. We just replaced him with Golden Tate. Probably a few year fix at most. But you got to look for some youth, of course. Evan Ingram, he is up and coming tight end for sure. He's solid. Shouldn't have to worry about that position for a while. And line is not the strongest part of this team. Low 60s, high 70s, about that range really, besides Kevin Zetzler, who is at 87 overall, but he's 29, so he's going to start regressing soon. But that is definitely a point of weakness for sure. Defensively, team does not have much of a pass rusher presence at all. Not even a good defense at all either. But really, this is an offensive team with a few good building blocks, mostly on the offensive side, besides Jabril Peppers. He should be good for years to come. I don't know what his contract looks like, but I believe it should be a few more years. Yeah, 2 more years remaining on that contract. He came in the year 2 years ago. Michael Thomas is backing him up. The kicker, Aldrick Rosas. What's his kick power? Okay, 95 kick power, 93 accuracy. Then Riley Dixon, of course. His kick power is not very good. Not a very good kicker at all. 2020 draft picks, it's all standard besides a few or one extra 7th rounder this year from New Orleans. But overall, this roster is pretty weak. It's just aging, and then they added a few pieces these past 2 years in these drafts that could possibly create a dynasty, and that's what the real interest was in taking the Giants over any other team in the NFL. But Daniel Jones, 22, 65 overall. He's who we need to develop mostly. He's on a cheap contract, his rookie contract, and we could easily add some pieces around him if he develops fast enough, and we can create a good team right off the rip instead of having to wait years on years to find another talent. I do want to add another lineman, so we're going to add some depth, or maybe even a starter, I guess, with Jeremy Parnell. He's old, but we can get him on a 1-year contract here with plenty of cap. Next year we're going to even have more cap, so we can make some splashes. But right now, I mean, our team, we can look at our lineup here. It's not as bad as it might seem. Offensively, it's actually okay. There's Golden Tate, Sterling Shepard, Cody Latimer at wide receiver, Saquon. Eli, we're going to start Daniel Jones, actually, just to get him developed. And our pickup with Parnell, he's going to start right tackle. Then tight end, of course, is Ingram, then Ellison. Ellison is the more blocking tight end, I believe. Maybe so. 71 run block. It looks like he is. I don't think Ingram's very good at that. He's more of a pass catching tight end. Yep, 59 run block from him. So we have a good tight end core, and defensively is where our struggles are. Lawrence is really the building piece, and Jabril Peppers around the defense here. Dexter Lawrence, the second. He has hidden development, and he's a rookie out of Clemson, so he could be a strong building piece with this Giants team alongside Jabril Peppers. Peppers has star development. All right, to start off, we're just going to use all pro settings on 10-minute quarters, and hopefully that works out fine. Injuries, of course, are going to be on, and all manual control. We're going to be controlling everything in this league. To start off, we're going to have to add players to our focus for training. And one of those players needs to be Daniel Jones, of course. We got to get his development up for sure. Dexter Lawrence can stay there, and I guess we can keep with any of these guys, really. It doesn't really matter. But I would prefer it to be a younger rookie or a first or second year player. We're going to see who else it could be. I believe maybe that is the best option here with Julian Love. We're going to keep it at Julian Love. He's only 21, rookie player. And we're going to start with that. And that'll give him extra boost in the training. So I won't actually play the training because this is a complete sim series. We will never play a game or train. We want to see what the players can do, not what I can do. So that is more important to me, is to see what the players will do without user control. So to start off, I mean, look, Daniel Jones got 310 from that, and then he got another 300 just from being a focused player. So that's helpful for sure with all of these players, and we want to keep this as realistic as possible. So I will not be making any crazy trades or doing anything like that. This is how a real team would handle it. We're trying to act like a real GM, or I guess controlling coach in this league. Won't be calling plays though, so not even a coach, but that is how we're going to be playing it. If you don't like that, then that's how it's going to be. In this introduction episode, we're also going to go through the preseason, just so we can start on season 1 and start fresh, or week 1, that is, and just to start fresh and hope for the best and get a win. We already have an O-line mentorship, and this is Parnell, so it's already a good pickup here. He's already trying to develop these other players on the line. Will Hernandez, we'll just work with a pass blocking, see what he can do there. Power pass blocking is what we want to work on. And these are the scenarios in this game, and they just give these boosts these young players from these more veteran guys. And just look there, this guy that we picked up last week is already trying to develop these other players. And this one's Will Hernandez. So he's already star development. This guy might be good. The strength 95, run block 80, pass block is going up now too, since that is what we chose. Pass block power is 81. He got +3 boost on that from that scenario right there. So we already have player upgrades to do, and it's Mike Reimers here, right tackle. He's 68 overall, 7-year vet, already 30 years old, so it doesn't really matter what we pick here, but we'll just, I guess, pick the scheme fit, see what he gets from that. And that doesn't bring his overall anywhere, but it doesn't matter. He's just a depth player at this point, since we did pick up Parnell. So we're just going to keep looking for the stats here. We did lose that first week. Lost 24-28 to the Jets, it looks like. Another New York team. Ooh, Daniel Jones, good passer rating, 148.4. He only played probably the first quarter since we had him starting, but 81 yards and a touchdown, so a good start. Eli had 2 touchdowns, 2 picks. Pretty Eli standard there, and 67 passer rating. No sacks given up on this team, so that's good. 7 of 8 for Daniel Jones, 87% completion. How did running do? We have Saquon, so I'm not too worried about that. But Wayne Gallman, he does have potential for sure to be in a rollback. Maybe we can take some of the pressure off Saquon. He's been the bell cow for this team for the past year for sure. Golden Tate went off, 7 receptions, 114 yards. Anyone else standing out? Gallman doing good in the receiving game as well. Rhett Ellison, he had a touchdown. Russell Shepard, Corey Coleman, Sterling Shepard, and not really much else. Benny Fowler's on this team as well. Defensively, Alec Ogletree, he looks like he had the most tackles in the entire game. Did we get any sacks? Yes, we did. Olsen Pierre and Kareem Martin got the sacks for us. There should be plenty of interceptions. You have 3 total. Michael Thomas got ours. He's on his 7th year, so it doesn't really matter what the stats are, really. We're just trying to look for standout players, since this is just the preseason. We just want to get through and see how it goes. And we already are on to week 2. Got to figure out who we need to cut and all that. Got another message from Parnell, and Parnell looks like Will Hernandez is on pace, and Will Hernandez gets 3 awareness. So that's nice. Eli looks like he's trying to mentor one of these guys. Daniel Jones. This is Daniel Jones' offense. I'm just the insurance, and that's fine. But if I can't help my teammates on the field, I'd like to do it on the other way. Okay. So, mentor starting QB. Okay. I'm sure Daniel Jones would appreciate that. That's cool. At least he is willing to still be a part of the team. Not get suffered in his own ego here. And I would like to see him throw on the run a little bit better, even though Eli can't do that, so... Oh, but he still helped him. So +3 throw on run for Daniel Jones. So that should bring probably his overall up, honestly. We have some more upgrades to do as well. I'll do the weekly training before that. And upgrade players, Dalvin Tomlinson and Rhett Ellison. Rhett Ellison had a good game. Dalvin Tomlinson, though, he is our other young lineman on defense. So we have potential here on the line to do some good things. This guy's already 80 overall. We have a 76 overall rookie who has hidden development. So if that's a X factor by any chance, then it definitely will be shooting up. And Rhett Ellison gets a lot. It's up to a 77 overall from this. It's a lot of upgrade points. He's on his 7th year, though. He's already 30. I didn't notice that before. We did win, so let's check out the stats from that game. And it was against, who was it against here? It was against the Bears, 31-24. And Eli Manning did pretty good this game. Daniel Jones also did pretty good this game. He was sacked 3 times though. 9 of 13, that's good. So both of our quarterbacks played good. But Daniel Jones, we just want to see him play good mostly. They really have similar physiques here. 6'5", 218 and 6'5", 221. Daniel Jones and Eli Manning have some similarities. Maybe that's why they picked him up. Saquon Barkley had a good game as well. Doesn't look like Gallman even played much. He had 5 rushing attempts, only 9 yards on those. But that's okay. Rhett Ellison having another good game. So Rhett Ellison's really the standout so far. He was already going to be on this team though, so that doesn't quite matter so much. Alec Ogletree once again. Kareem Martin second. And who got the sacks here? Ogletree and no one else on our team. They got a lot of sacks over there. Alec Ogletree also had the interception, so he's playing really good at his middle linebacker position. On kick return, I didn't really pay too much attention to this. I just kept it at who they wanted to be kick return, and Corey Coleman averaging 27 per kickoff. That's pretty good. One more preseason game we can sim through, and that will be versus the Bengals, which we do lose. We have an injury and we need to cut 22 players, so pretty big week here. Hopefully it's not by too much. Yep, 24-27, not bad. Daniel Jones had another good game. Doesn't even look like... Looks like Eli Manning didn't complete a single pass in his 6 attempts. And Daniel Jones completed quite a few of his, 80% of his, having a QB rating of 152.9, 168, and 2 touchdowns. Hopefully he can bring this to the regular season. These kind of performances are good to see out of him. Who got Ellison once again? Who got the touchdowns here? Golden Tate and Ingram got them for us. Defensively, Alec Ogletree once again with the most tackles on the team. Kareem Martin with a 1.5 sack, and Michael Thomas with a 0.5 sack. That's all we got from the sack category, and Alec Ogletree with another interception. So Alec Ogletree definitely has a spot on this team with this preseason performance. He already really did have a spot on this team, but with this standout, it's hard to not notice how well he's been playing. But let's check out this injury. Hopefully it's no one important. Michael Thomas, the backup strong safety, he's out for 5 weeks, so he won't be with us on this start of this season. 72 overall backup. He was a captain on this team, so we'll get through that, of course, but still sucks to see him go down. We have 22 players to cut, but first let's go ahead and upgrade the player that is available. Garrett Dickerson, he'll probably end up the practice squad or cut at 63 overall. Not much we can do with him right now. We can develop him up though, bring him to the practice squad. Let's go position by position. At quarterback, we do not need 4 quarterbacks, so one of these need to be cut, and that is going to be Alex Tanney, of course, and the 62 overall Kyle LaLute. We'll just bring him to the practice squad. He can stay on the team at least. Eli Manning, I want to see what his contract is beyond this year. If this is the last year, then I won't worry about it much. Yeah, this is the last year. He's going to make a lot of money, but he's mentoring this quarterback, Daniel Jones, up, so we shouldn't really worry about him too much. And we'll just let him be. We don't need really 4 running backs, but I don't know what Paul Perkins. Yeah, Paul Perkins going to get cut. His speed isn't as good as these other guys. And at wide receiver, we're a pretty strong wide receiver core, not going to lie at all. We could use a better third receiver, but Golden Tate and Sterling Shepard, that's two solid receivers right there that Daniel Jones can target week in and week out. But as for the cut guys, Alonzo Russell, he has good speed, not the best acceleration. We're going to go ahead and cut him actually. And Alex Wesley, he's going to be moved to the practice squad. He has good speed. Who else should we cut? Do we need it to cut anyone? 1, 2, 3. Yeah, we have 7. We don't need 7 at all. Darius Slayton. I don't want to bring him to the practice squad, though. Benny Fowler. I think Benny Fowler's going to have to be cut. He didn't really do much in the preseason either. So he got cut, and we have way too many tight ends as well. Zach Diosi, age 35 already. He's probably their long snapper in real life. They seem to put those under tight end all the time. There just needs to be a long snapping position. At the end of the day, they just don't have that. And Scott Simonson, yeah, we're gonna go ahead and cut him. We only need 3 tight ends. I would rather keep the youth with Garrett Dickerson. We're just gonna keep him on the team. Tackle position's really weak, but we can indeed cut Nick Gates. Add one of these two to the practice squad. Who is the weaker of the two? It looks like Paul Adams. We're gonna move him to the practice squad. Left guard, center. We need backups for all these, so these guys are just gonna have to stay put for now. Chad Slade, however, 53 overall. We have no need for him. Brian Milhalek, 82 strength, 64. He'll be cut. Chad Wheeler, he's going to be moved to the practice squad. Chris Slayton's going to the practice squad as well. We have a few more players to cut, and it's not going to be easy from here. Middle linebacker, we have plenty of those, so that'll get rid of a few. Jonathan Anderson, just not good enough. Stumper, he's 31, 63 overall, no potential there. Tay Davis, it's pretty good stats, to be honest here. 2 middle linebackers. Middle linebacker's pretty weak for us, but one of these guys needs to go to the practice squad. I don't know who it should be. They're both 23. We'll go ahead and put the worst one of the 3 on practice squad. Avery Moss and O'Shane Eximes. Eximes is he is younger by 2 years. Stats are a little bit worse, but his overall's higher. We're gonna go ahead and move him to the practice squad. Cornerback, quite a few low-rated cornerbacks. No good man, not even good speed for that guy. He's gonna go ahead and get cut. 1, 2, 3. We have quite a few actually. Antonio Hamilton and Sam Beal. We're gonna go ahead and cut Hamilton. Now we have Beal and Lippett. Both of these, all 3 of these, one of these guys got to go, and I'm thinking it's Lippett. He's the oldest and the least skilled out of all 3 of them. So that's going to be that, and we have one more player to cut. Kenny Ladler is the weakest of all of them, so he's going to go ahead and get cut, and we're going to sim past our last game in the preseason versus the Patriots. And we're going to go into the game with the Cowboys in the next episode.